Hey, Buddha Zhen, the Daily Taoist, popping in here real quick to get you one of these and then run away. Here we go. This is number 17 on page 28 of the Tao of Taoism, written by me, based on the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. And this is number 18A. This one had so much to unpack in it, this number 18, that I broke it down into all the way to 18E. I had to break it into 5 sections to make sense of this thing. So here's what I say. Okay, so this is number 18 of that. There's 80 of them actually, and this book has 40. And then I figured I was going to break it into 2 books because this is a huge book. Okay, number 18A by Lao Tzu, paraphrased by the Daily Taoist, Buddha Zhen here. To deviate from nature, anytime I say nature, I mean the Tao, okay? To deviate from nature is to create new rules that are unbalanced with nature. Any rules or activities not in balance with nature are evil and destructive. Well, like dumping your chemicals into a river. We don't want those chemicals over here, so we're saying dump them over there, okay? So that rule was not balanced with nature, and that unbalanced rule or activity that's not in balance with nature is, like I said, evil and destructive. So there's a real simple example. So let me read it one more time, and then I've only got 2 things to read here. This will be a kind of a quick one. What are your rules, ethics, morals, codes of conduct, or religious principles? And then look, I gave you like 5 lines to answer that question. So that's why this is important. Yeah, that's why so just unpacking that. So what are your rules? I mean, can you list them out? Seriously, who are you? And, what are your rules or ethics? Your morals, your codes of conduct. Think about those. Codes of conduct. You're probably not aware of it. But if you had to train someone to be you, say, hey, listen, I'm going to disappear for a month. I'm going to be gone for a month, and I want you to take my place. And the guy goes, okay, what do I do? Well, you got to tell him how he's going to eat, when he's going to go places, how he's going to talk to people, who he likes, who he doesn't like, okay? So somebody's got to impersonate you. If you had to train someone to impersonate you, what would you tell them are your rules, your ethics, your morals? Because maybe this person's a liar, he doesn't care, or he cusses, and you go, no, I have a rule, I don't cuss, Oh no, I don't do that, or I don't touch people like that, or you've got rules and ethics. So anyway, what are your rules and ethics? Believe, you are obviously different from somebody else. And this is how you define your separation from them, okay? So, you got to think of, if you're driving, forget it. I want to think about it a little bit. I got a big space here, so I'm going to make this a short podcast, so you could just kind of concentrate on that. Think of all your rules and ethics and morals. I have another book that I wrote for my daughter about 15 years ago when she thought she was going to be an actress. It's called Act Zen, and it's basically actually it's based on my movie career, my training at UCLA, and as a director on how to create a character. And so what I did was I took that, and then I took everything I learned about Zen Buddhism, and I thought, okay, how do you take a person and shape their character with Zen Buddhism, and then as an actor, make them fluid in that so they can create other people, but then they can go back to being the person that they wanted to be originally, that they'd already pre-designed. And so that's what Act Zen is. I designed this, so first of all, you decide who you are, and then you can be somebody else, and then you can go back to being who you were. I call that Act Zen, or Acting Zen, Act Zen to act naturally. So it's little slogans I made for it. But it really works. I mean, well, it's just good for everybody because we're always acting. When you go into a business and you're going to be a salesman, you have certain roles, an acting role that you have to do. And so you should know what that is. And then when you go home, you're not going to try to sell your kids and everybody like you do every day. You have a whole different attitude in how you play with your kids and how you treat somebody out on the parking lot trying to sell them a car. So you can act Zen is be able to define who you are and your different roles. Okay, so how are any of these rules that you're making out of balance with nature? Okay, so some of these rules that you're living by and codes of conduct might be out of nature, maybe getting up in the morning. That's your nature says, no, I gotta sleep in till 10 o'clock every day. I just can't go to sleep before 2 in the morning, and so maybe that's your nature. I don't know. I hope I'm not getting you in trouble. I don't want to give you bad ideas. But anyway, point is, what is your nature? Whatever it is, just say what it is. If that's what it is, then I accept it. Okay, so, and then I make my suggestions. So that's it. So let me read what Lao Tzu said, and I should do that. I should always try to remember to go back and wrap up at the end. Number 18A in my book, The Tao of Taoism, to deviate from nature, or the Tao, is to create new rules that are unbalanced with the Tao, or Mother Nature. Any rules or activities not in balance with the Tao, nature, are evil and destructive. Now, try to prove, oh, tell me if I'm wrong. I'll be honest with you. I'm looking at that from different perspectives. And, yeah. All right. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, talk to you later. The Daily Taoist here, Buddha Zhen. I'm thinking about this too. So let me think about it. You think about it. See you tomorrow.